We do a lot of different things here on the show to inform our audience on all things retirement. Today, we're going to start the show in the time machine. I'm going to give you some pop culture references, and then I'm going to see if you guys can guess what year am I. Are you ready to go?
Love it.
Yes, sir.
This one, I will say you were alive. I know sometimes we play the time machine, and it was well before your dawning on this earth. So here we go. In this year, top songs were Because You Love Me by Celine Dion, Always Be My Baby by Mariah Carey, and this little ditty, which became a dance craze across the U.S. Alicia's got the dance move down.
How it goes.
I feel like you're on the right track.
I
You
know.
have to, and then you got
Oh,
to,
no, it's like this.
yeah, the Macarena. Yeah, there you go. There you go. See, if you're watching along on YouTube or Facebook, we can do the dance. I just decided not to.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, you got to remember. Okay, to left. At the box office, Independence Day, Twister, The English Patient, which won the Oscar for Best Picture, were on the big screen. And, we're going to have some fun with this one. Here was a top movie of the time.
I want you to say it what you really mean it, brother. Hey, I got Bob Sugar on the other line. I better hear you say it.
Yeah, no. Show you the money.
Not show you. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Yeah. Louder.
Show me the money.
That's it, brother, but you got to yell at me.
Show me the money.
I need to feel you, Jerry.
Show me the money.
Jerry, you better yell.
Oh my gosh, that was such a good movie.
that was Tom Cruise and Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire. On the television screen, ER was dominating. Frasier, Seinfeld. That means NBC basically just had the entire ledger of that. And so that was going on. Nintendo 64 launched this year, and the DVD player and Pokemon debuted in Japan. So what year am I?
Definitely the 90s. I saw Twister in remember the movie theater when it was over in Orchards in Loveland?
Yep.
I saw Twister at that
There.
movie theater.
That was a good
So it's
theater
definitely
movie,
the
I'm sure.
90s.
Yep, mid 90s.
What is it?
6.
96.
Okay.
Yep. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
You win. It was the
That'd have
mid
been
90s.
At least my second guess for sure.
All right, so let's go to the financial world. It's $1.23 for gas. Average cost of a home $140,000.
Wow.
Typical 30-year mortgage rate 7.81. I think we can relate to that today. It's a little higher than normal. Average grocery bill $105 to $120.
Wow.
I guess what's your thoughts on that? Because again, we're talking a 30-year snapshot in time.
That's bananas. I think just anytime I tell my kids, they're always like, can we go here? Can we go there? And I'm like, no, when we leave the house, for whatever reason, it costs me $150 just to like walk out my front door. I think just the price of admission at the grocery store now is $130. And that's before anything goes in your cart.
Seriously.
We actually just went out to dinner last night and it was only
the three of us.
one kid. The other kid was gone. And our kid, you know, he likes what he likes, but it's usually like the most expensive item on the menu. But gosh, when the bill came, I was like, wow.
And we didn't
like,
even have cocktails. It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was
So
really
I just feel like
expensive. Yeah.
everything, when you look at it kind of historically and
Do we laugh or do we cry?
It's kind of both, you know, it's a little bit of like
Like,
you
what do you
laugh
do?
so hard, you tear up a little bit. And honestly, you know, I think everyone knows that 1996 was like 10 years ago, right? So it's really not that long ago that to just see the, you know, appreciation of everything just happened so quickly. It kind of just is mind boggling. And you think about the home costs, would you say like 140,
105 to 120?
Yeah. I mean, gosh, that's like a down payment now on a house at 20%.
But
you
this
know,
is,
it's
I mean,
crazy.
this is why retirement planning is so important, because if you're not planning on costs going up, that's where it stings. You know, it's like the the silent killer
Yep.
of retirement planning is not planning for it. And then having the grocery bill like this, going from $100 to, $400 or whatever, and granted, it definitely depends on the lifestyle that you have for sure. But the last thing people want to do in retirement is scale back on their lifestyle. That's where
Right.
they're really kind of gearing up to like live the best life possible because they're not working anymore. So, this is why we do what we do because, and it's a good reminder. It's a really good reminder of just because like what Josh said, that doesn't feel like that long ago, but the tremendous amount of increase is,
It's real.
it's real.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think this is almost the lifespan of my daughter. My daughter was born in 1997, so just, a year older than she is. And just seeing those prices and thinking through that. I mean, now, let's face it, you can get one small plastic grocery shack full of stuff for $75. I mean, that's just, if you just need to make a quick shot to the store to grab some, condiments and maybe some meat, and then you forgot something, some type of like Kleenex or something. I mean, it's $75 like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
Meat prices too. That's just astounding sometimes when you go to the grocery store. You're like, let's get some steaks to grill out. And then you see the, price and you're like, who wants to have burgers tonight? Right? Like,
Dad, I thought we were having steak.
I'll shape the burgers like a T-bone. Okay.
I'm sure that'll fool them when they get out the knife to cut into it, right? Again, you reach out to Alicia, Josh, and the team because one thing that people fear is running out of money. But actually, number two, I was just reading an article on CNBC the other day, and it talked about because people fear running out of money so much, the thing that they typically do, especially when they don't work with a financial professional, is not spend money, which is almost like a cardinal sin. You didn't save it to not use it. And I know, Alicia, we talk about this all the time, giving people permission to spend their own money. And that seems crazy, but you guys have to do that from time to time because we've all been conditioned to save, 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 and not think about spending it.
Right. And I would have to say we actually talk to people more about spend because rather than, hey, pull back, you're spending too much. Underspending is a real problem. And it's just like what you said, Bruce. It's most of the time people are, they haven't switched their brain of like, okay, for the past 40 years, I've just been saving. And now how do I take my savings and spend it? And so that's where we show them, here's the numbers behind it. And for every time you withhold that spend that you want to do, just look at what it's doing to the bottom line of how much you're going to leave your heirs. And that works because then people are like, oh my gosh, well, let me see if I do spend it. And let me see if I just increase how much I take every single month and then show them. And they're like, why would I not do this? There's still money left over. And we're very, very conservative with showing growth. On the accounts, we say, okay, let's show you more of a worst case scenario. Yeah, we want to hope for the best, but let's plan for the worst. And even when we are showing those plans, it's okay. Here's how much money you can spend. Go do it. But then also holding people accountable to that, of like, I want to do these bucket list trips. Okay, well, what have you got on the books? Let's make sure that you have something on the books. Or, if it's a big ticket item that maybe one of the spouses is like, I don't know about that. I don't know if so-and-so should buy that, then it's
the husbands.
Yeah.
That's the culprit.
Not always.
But usually,
Yeah.
they're, and what's funny too, is I think we as men kind of have this emotionally driven idea of like, we need to provide for our families. So you're kind of holding on to that money much tighter. And I think kind of what's interesting too about like the way we go through that process is Alicia's a great accountability partner because she's going to hold your feet to the fire on, some of that spending stuff. And what's always interesting is when we have those conversations with people, it's always this idea of like, it's emotionally driven, right? Like, I feel like we shouldn't be spending this much money. And then when you come back at it mathematically and say, yeah, but if you do spend this money, look at how it changes that, over the next 30 years. And a lot of times it's just like such a minute adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really what's freeing is like, let's sort of talk about the emotion of why you're not wanting to spend that. And then let's apply some math to it and look at it a little bit more logically. And then I think men especially can then relate to that and see it in a tangible fashion and be like, oh, okay, now let's go ahead and, book that trip. And it does make sense, but it's a constant thing too, because we fall back into those old habits. And it's, every time we meet with families, a lot of those conversations, they're not the same, but they're similar.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have a couple minutes left here in this segment. I want to relate this also back to retirement planning. In 1996, the 401k and IRA were now commonplace. They came in the 80s, but now we're a decade in, and really, business has decided, hey, the 401k is what we're going to do because our obligation ends at the paycheck. We've matched it, and we don't have to worry about it after that. Workers had fewer guaranteed pensions. Lower home loan rates and instruments like reverse mortgages became more widely available. Inflation of the time, relatively tame, 3.3%, making long-term planning easier, and more retirees sought and received tailored financial advice, but they were using software and internet tools. So they started doing it themselves during this era. And healthcare was outpacing inflation, which is a constant. So in this last minute, Alicia, again, there's a lot of things that are similar, but things that have obviously increased over time.
Yeah, I think it's changed dramatically as far as, I always think of my grandparents. My grandpa, he had a pension, and he knew that when he passed away, my grandma would have the pension. It was very set in stone, Social Security. They had all these incomes that, because they were older. And now that pensions are pretty much gone, I mean, there's some people that still have a pension, which is awesome. But now it is really like, hey, you retire, here's your 401k, out the door you go, figure out your own retirement income. And that is the challenge, because not only that do we have to look at, but we also have to look at, okay, where is your income coming from? How is that going to be taxable? What about, like you said, healthcare? I mean, healthcare is a biggie. And are you retiring before 65? We've got to really plan for that. There's a lot that goes into investing and planning and enjoying your retirement. And so that's what we do here. That's what, we love. And we sit and we do every single day. And I think if you don't have a plan, the likelihood of you underspending is pretty high. And the likelihood of you not enjoying your retirement is pretty high, because again, it comes back to that emotion of like, oh, can I? No, we shouldn't. How do we do this? And so this is what we do. So give us a call. We would love to sit down and chat with you and see if we can bring value to you in your situation.